Welcome back to Midweek Motivation. That's what I'm naming it. Check out the channel for the first part on sales and persuasion. This is part 2. Just a quick recap of part 1. 3 principles to sell effectively. Number 1, change your paradigm about sales. Sales comes from the Greek "sedon," which means to give, not just to take. Sales is offering people an advantage. It's not just taking an advantage. Right? So everything around you is a form of sales. Don't think of it as a bad thing or negative thing. Second thing, always focus on people's interests. Be genuinely interested in other people, their needs, their wants, their values, their aspirations, and you sell to that, you provide them a solution. Right? Sales is essentially understanding people's needs and providing them a solution. People don't buy because they understand fully, they buy because they feel understood. Empathy and not just eloquence sells. Okay? And the last one is Understand Laws of Persuasion by Robert Cialdini. Check out part 1 for the elaboration. Okay, this is part 2. I'm going to give you 3 more principles to focus on. The first one is understand elements of communication. Sales is a form of communication, and it's the most important skill set that is very underrated and not deliberately practiced. So there are 2 aspects of communication, verbal and non-verbal. Verbal is 3%, non-verbal is 97%. Okay, so verbal is your words, 7% is your word choice, right? Certain words that you choose, how you craft the scripts. 38% is vocal, so your voice, your vocal image, and 55% is visual. How you look, how you dress, your eye contact, your gestures. So let's talk about your vocal image. Now, interestingly enough, if I ask you to open TikTok and look at the first 3 people in your FYP for 10 seconds, right? Close your eyes and just listen to their voice. You already have a certain impression of them, their values, their character, their personality, just purely off 10 seconds of their voice, right? Which means that your vocal image is really important, right? Your vocal voice is your personality, but very few people focus intentionally on that. Now, what are some elements of voice? There are 5 elements: pitch, pause, pace, pronunciation, power, and tonality. Okay, let's go in order. The first one is pitch. Right? Generally, if you speak with a lower pitch, you'll be seen as a bit more authoritative. You end things on a lower pitch. Right? If you end things on a high pitch like that, or you speak in high pitch, it's seen as people take you a bit less seriously, you're less authoritative. So just watch it if you speak on a higher pitch. I have generally a bit of a higher tone by nature. Along the years, I've intentionally speak with a lower pitch to sound more authoritative. Okay, the second one is power, right? The way you emphasize certain words lends credibility or lends weight to it. So learn how to project your voice. Go and look up how to project your voice from your diaphragm. Emphasize certain points, that's power. The third one is pause. This is again very underrated. A lot of people just speak with staccato rhythm. You speak, you don't pause. But when you pause at certain points, you bring across a certain emphasis, right? There's a certain weight behind it and it carries meaning, it carries intention. The fourth one is pace. So how fast you speak, your cadence. Right, a lot of people speak with a very staccato, very very rhythmic. That's exactly the same. You get monotonous, people get bored. So if you convey excitement, right, you want to speak a bit fast, convey excitement. If you slow down, you pause, you take your time, it does convey a sense of seriousness. Right, you change the mood, you change the intention behind your words. Learn to play with your pacing. Right, and the last P is pronunciation. Especially as Singaporeans, I love Singlish. It is a medium of solidarity. Right? I love it as a way to create social bonds. But in larger context, when you speak to international audiences, you do have to watch certain language. In Singlish, for example, we tend to shorten the vowel sound. So like very becomes very, very, very happy. Right? And the end consonants, like constant, the T we don't pronounce it, so constant. And then we shift to the next vowel, the next word. Everything is stuck together. So it sounds very unintelligible. Right? A quick tip to give you is that when you speak, you've got to open up your mouth a bit more. Right? Open up your mouth and enunciate your words so that you speak with clarity, with conviction, with enunciation. And the last and most important one is T, tonality, where your tonality is the emotion in your voice, right? The feeling in your voice. Can you convey excitement, right? Or can you convey brokenness? Can you convey sadness? Can you convey pain? Because people feel the emotion in your voice. That's what connects you to them. So learn, a quick tip for this is that if you want to put more emotion in your language, you can lengthen the vowel sounds. Right? For example, I'm very tired. I'm very, very tired. right? Convey certain emotion. That's a quick tip for you. But overall, I think you just really have to feel and be passionate about your topic. That's how you create tonality. So I know this was a bit off tangent, but generally, you can really watch yourself speak, record yourself. Right? Don't be intimidated by all these things. Just record yourself and see what to improve on. Right? Take one to maybe improve on for 1 week, and then you change the next week so you don't be so overwhelmed by it. Next one is your visual image. Visual image is how you dress, your eye contact. If I say the whole time I'm talking to you like this, I'm facing away, I'm looking down, I'm talking, I'm fidgeting in my hand. You lose me, right? You lose the connection. You have a certain impression of me as well based on my visual image. So when you speak, you want to make eye contact, right? If it's too difficult initially, try looking at it in between people's eyes, right? Practice eye contact, right? Be comfortable being judged. We're going to talk about that really soon as a good segue. Generally, visual is the way you dress, your hairstyle. Quick story. I remember when I first came into business, my hair was all over the place. I went to my mentor. I'm trying to help people look within, focus on their character. Why should I care about my hairstyle? Right? Isn't that hypocritical? He looked at me and said, Kevin, if you really believe that, why not you just go naked? Why not you just run around naked and try and persuade people? His point was that sometimes, ironically, to change people's paradigms, you have to function within certain paradigms. You cannot have too much dissonance in dealing with people. So the way you dress does convey a certain image. You have to portray and you have to play to that image in order to sell. All right? So that's the first one, okay? Elements of communication. The fifth principle is your skin has to be obnoxiously thick. Okay? You cannot care what every single person is thinking about you. When you start doing sales or you start running a business or anything in life, there's bound to be some level of judgment. You cannot please the entire world. But a friend to everybody is an enemy to himself. You cannot please the entire world. Judgment is often a reflection of other people rather than yourself. You need to understand that in sales, you will get people banging doors at you. You will get rejections. You just have to redirect it and focus on the price. I remember attending one speaking seminar. It was by a comedian. And he said one thing that never left me. He said that, what's the most important principle in public speaking? Right? The most important thing beyond ability to connect, beyond every single thing, the foundational principle of public speaking. And his answer was that you need to look at the audience in the eye and be comfortable being judged. He said the moment you are comfortable being judged, right, you liberate yourself and you're able to share freely. It's the same with sales. It's the same with life, in fact. If you are afraid of people's thoughts of you, you'll be crippled and overanalyze every single word that you say. Okay? So that's the fifth one. The sixth and final point, okay, as an antithesis or a hedge to the previous point, you need to curate feedback, which means that you cannot just screw everybody. You do need to care what other people think to a certain extent. You need to curate feedback, what is good and what is noise. Because sometimes certain people, the thing they say is giving you feedback to improve. And sales is about continuous, constant improvement, sharpening your skill set, looking back, reviewing, taking down notes, what went well, what could be improved on. Right? The ability to neutralize feedback, not personalize it, and make constant corrections. That is where your strength lies in sales. Okay? And that's what has helped me personally become a very good salesperson. Because I really curated and took feedback. I lowered my ego at times when I need to, and I filter out the noise where I have to. We are done. I'll end off with a quote from my book under the principle Sell, page 327. You can consider getting it on the link in the description. It is a self-help and autobiography, and one chapter I dedicate to sales. People don't buy a product. They buy you. The best salespeople are invisible. They are never thought of as pushing, aggressive, or intrusive. They are problem solvers, helpers, and professionals. So I hope this episode helped you in your journey. If it does, drop us a subscribe, share this with someone that needs it or can help. And we'll see you on the next episode. Bye.